Gaming is epic as it is, there's a game out there for nearly everyone to hold near and dear to their boners, and while that's fine and dandy and all, what if you could take your casual gaming up to the next level? This, my friends, is where speedrunning comes into play. For those unaware, speedrunning, or rather just a speedrun, is defined by Wikipedia as a playthrough or a recording thereof of a whole video game or a selected part of it, performed with the intention of completing it as fast as possible. Sounds pretty neat, right? And the neatest part about it is the fact that there are YouTubers and Twitch streamers out there who partake in this type of gaming. However, for the purposes of this video, I'll only be covering two of these speedrunners. These being tomatoanus, a YouTuber who makes videos breaking down speedruns of different games, but he himself is also a speedrunner of the Fallout games, and as well as ThaRixer, a YouTuber who tells stories about speedrunning and someone who mainly speedruns Jak 3, but has also done speedruns of various other games. Anyhow, let's start the video off by covering tomatoanus. tomatoanus, whose real name is unknown, is a speedrunner of unknown age from the United States that is most prominently known for his speedruns of the Fallout games and for making videos in which he breaks down speedruns in a coherent manner for all to understand. His YouTube channel was created on December 3rd, 2014, and he has since then amassed a total of over 217,000 subscribers. The first video on this channel, titled Former World Record NBA Street Volume 2 Speedrun in 2 hours, 34 minutes and 28 seconds NBA Challenge 100%, was uploaded on February 12th, 2017, and essentially all this video is a live stream of him getting what was the world record in NBA Street Volume 2 at the time of the stream. From this point onward, he continued to upload speedruns he did, most of which were of the Fallout games, more specifically Fallout 4. However, when it comes to the current kind of content he makes, the first video of the Speedrun Explained series was uploaded on April 13th, 2018, and it was titled Fallout 4 Beaten in Under 40 Minutes. Speedrun Explained Any Percent. This video brought him great success, and as a matter of fact, it's his second most popular video of all time. The best part about it is that he's covering his own run as opposed to someone else's, which I can only assume adds a certain amount of extra personal gratification to the creation of the video. Since the release of this video, Tomato has uploaded a total of 27 of these videos, all of which have been fairly successful, with the most popular one being the one titled Speedrunning to Have Sex in the Fallout series, Speedrun Explained World Record. Not only is it the most popular of the series, but it's the most popular video on his channel to date, and I wonder why that is. Well, to put it simply, tons and tons of horny teenagers clicking on the video would be the answer you're looking for. Anyhow, all of the hard work he put into his speedruns of the Fallout anthology eventually paid off, and it resulted in Tomato landing himself a spot at AGDQ 2020, which for those unaware is a semi-annual video game speedrun charity marathon held in the United States, originally organized by the Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live communities. This achievement is without a single shred of doubt a monumental one in Tomato's speedrunning career as well as any other speedrunner's career. Nonetheless, to conclude this section of the video, I reached out to Tomato to ask him 6 different questions in regards to speedrunning, these being: when and why did you start to speedrun games? Which game was the first game you did a speedrun of? Do you currently have any world records or personal bests, and if not, are you currently striving to get either of those? Would you say that anyone could get into speedrunning, or does one need a specific set of skills before getting into it? How does a speedrunner distinguish themselves from others? And lastly, does speedrunning take the fun out of the game you're playing, or does it make it more enjoyable? And here were his responses to those questions.
When and why did you start to speedrun games? I myself started speedrunning in January of 2017, but I was introduced to speedrunning in around 2011. In around late 2016, early 2017, I was kind of getting sick of playing Dota. I was super toxic, and I had always been a competitive person, so I was looking for something else to do that I could compete with, at least with just myself at. And AGDQ 2017 happened to be on while I was on my winter break, and I just watched all of that and was reminded of speedrunning as a concept, and was like, yeah, I should try that out. So yeah, after AGDQ 2017, I searched around for games to speedrun and started speedrunning then myself. Which game was the first game I did a speedrun of? So the first game that I speedrun speedran myself was Fallout 4. I learned the any percent category, and that was the first run I ever did. And from there, it just kind of branched out into other Fallout games, but Fallout 4 was my first one, and it's the speedrun I treasure most. I currently hold the Fallout 4 any percent world record. I first got that about a month after I started speedrunning in 2017. Have held it on and off since then, but have held it pretty consistently for the past 2 to 3 years or so. In addition to Fallout 4 any percent, I also hold the world record in the Fallout Anthology main series any percent run, which is stringing together the any percent runs of the 5 main series Fallout games, which is Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and 4, all back to back. Would you say that anyone could get into speedrunning, or does one need a specific set of skills before getting into it? Anyone can speedrun, and that's kind of the beauty of it. There's really no barrier into doing speedruns yourself. Yeah, sure, if you want to get on a leaderboard, you have to record your runs in most cases, and yeah, sure, you have to be able to upload videos, but those are just requirements for if you want to get on a leaderboard, and leaderboards aren't everything for speedrunning. At the end of the day, speedrunning is a hobby, and you should do it if you have fun doing it. Just as long as you're having fun and there's a timer going, then you're speedrunning. So yeah, anyone could do it. How does a speedrunner distinguish themselves from others? At the end of the day, in my opinion, there aren't too many ways for speedrunners to distinguish themselves from one another outside of things that aren't unique to speedrunning, like focusing on different aspects of your streaming career or the type of content you produce or your personality. But I would say some things that you can use to kind of label or distinguish people in the speedrunning community is what they focus on. In my eyes, there's about 4 main roles in the community if you're active and contributing to speedruns. And I should say up front that these may be 4 archetypes of roles you could fill in the speedrunning community, but they aren't exclusive. You can fulfill multiple of these roles. But the main 4 archetypes that I see in the speedrunning community are people who grind out runs, like the actual runners of the game, people who glitch hunt, the people who try and break the game and find new and interesting tech in them, people who actually route the run, so people who will take those glitches or look at the game and try and figure out the most optimal way to combine all known things about the run. And then lastly is people who create tool assisted speedruns, which is a bit of a blending of the of all 3 to some extent, but a bit more on the technical side and coding and programming side of things. That's how I see speedrunners being able to distinguish themselves from others in the community. Does speedrunning take the fun out of the game you are playing, or does it make it more enjoyable? At the end of the day, all speedrunning does is add another dimension to playing a game. It just takes whatever game it is and turns it into whatever genre it is, whether that be a platformer or a RPG, and it turns into a platformer plus a racing game, or an RPG plus a racing game. So it just adds a whole nother layer to it and another challenge, and you can always not do that challenge if it isn't fun to you, And at the end of the day, we wouldn't be speedrunning if it wasn't fun. So yeah, speedrunning, it doesn't take the fun out of the game that we're playing. It does make it more enjoyable.
Thank you, Tomato, for participating in the video. I really appreciate it. Let's now move on to covering the next and final speedrunner, ThaRixer. Ricky, better known as ThaRixer online, is a 24-year-old speedrunner from Denmark who is most notably known for speedrunning 4 different games, these being Jak 3 from the Jak and Daxter franchise, Perfect Dark, Ratchet & Clank, more specifically the first game in the trilogy, and Mirror's Edge. Not only this, but over on his YouTube channel, Ricky is known for making videos in which he tells stories about speedrunning. His channel was created on March 9th, 2009, and since then he has garnered himself a following of over 47,800 subscribers. However, while he may have created his channel back in 2009, his first video wasn't uploaded until 2017, more specifically March 20th, 2017. The video in question was titled Dog's Life Any Percent Speedrun in 12 minutes and 43 seconds, world record, and all this video is an archived live stream of him getting the world record in a game called Dog's Life, which, to be honest with you, I had never heard of before watching this video, and the funniest part about it is that he has the game set to Spanish, which I found to be hilarious. But he does state in the description that it's for the purpose of the run. On a side note, Ricky still holds this world record, since I would assume that this game is obscure enough to the point where no one will come to take that crown away from him. Anyways, following the release of this video, Ricky would proceed to upload a random assortment of videos until the video titled Is GDQ Still the Best Speedrun Marathon was released on September 29th, 2018. And this is the point where Ricky hit his stride with his videos. Since then, Ricky Ricky has made a total of 16 videos in the same vein as this one, with the most popular of them all being the one titled The Man Who Broke Spyro in Half, which was uploaded on May 6, 2020. Just like our previous speedrunner, tomatoanus, Ricky has been to AGDQ in 2016, 2018, and 2019. In 2016, Ricky did a run of Jak 3 with Hillary Puff in 45 minutes and 1 second. In 2018, he did a run of both Dog's Life and Ratchet & Clank, in which he completed Dog's Life in 19 minutes and 44 seconds, and Ratchet & Clank in 22 minutes and 51 seconds. And lastly, in 2019, he did a run of Jak 3 in 44 minutes and 28 seconds. As aforementioned, being a part of this event is the highlight of any speedrunner's career, and Ricky is no exception to this. Although he has stated in his GDQ video that he prefers the ESA, which is the European Speedrunner Assembly, since it's more convenient for him to go to Sweden than it is for him to come to the States for obvious reasons. Nevertheless, just like the last segment of the video, I contacted Ricky to get his take on the same set of questions that Tomato was given, and here's what he had to say.
So the first one is, when and why did you start speedrunning games? I started speedrunning all the way back in 2011. Why is a bit more of an interesting story. Around 2011, there was this group of Spyro and Crash speedrunners, and they reached out to me to join like a casual speedrun tournament. By the time the 5th tournament came around, Samurai Man had joined, who's a fairly well-known Zelda, Mario Sunshine, everything runner really. He ran just about everything at the time. And he was like, hey, you guys are pretty good. You know, you should check out Speedruns Live. So he showed me and a couple of my friends Speedruns Live. We started racing on Speedruns Live, and we got introduced to the world of speedrunning and the community at the time and GDQ, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So which game was the first game you did a speedrun of? The first game I did a run of was Crash Bandicoot 2. Do you currently have any world records or PBs? And if not, are you currently striving to get either of those? Yeah, I have a lot. A lot of the times I have on my speedrun.com are times that were world records when set, and then I left them long behind. All my Ratchet times, those were all world record when I set them, for example. It's not really my super goal anymore to get like world records. I feel like there was a while where, you know, I wanted to prove myself in all these different PlayStation games and prove that I was really good and stuff, but I don't really feel like I have much to prove. It's mostly for myself nowadays anyway. Like I like to still get top times. Like I still don't really accept anything that isn't like at least the top 3 or the top 5. It depends on the game. I wouldn't really say I'm striving for any records right now. The record will happen if my time happens to go below the next person's. I'd say I'm improving at my own rate, and if my own personal improvement rate happens to succeed that of the other person's PB, then that's sick. Would you say that anyone could get into speedrunning, or does one need a specific skill set before getting into it? Your skill set is naturally going to develop. I do think that it's very easy to tunnel in speedrunning. There's a lot of like people that run one game are either just going to be incredibly good at that one game, or they're gonna lack some skill sets by not running other games as well. I do think anyone can get into speedrunning, especially because it's really as simple as like, if you're just starting out, you can just like play whatever version of the game that you have and just put on a timer. You don't really need to record right away. And some leaderboards, like, you know, accept phone recordings, you know, especially if your like leaderboard placement is a bit lower, which it's going to be at the start. You can just kind of record with your phone if you want to record your run, and just like play the game at your own pace and try to learn the strats off of tutorials or off of top runs or like mid-level runs and stuff. Yeah, I mean, anyone can get into it. It's not super hard, I would say, especially depending on the level you're willing to take to it. Like if you're not willing to go like super far and you just want to have fun with it at your own pace, it's definitely like you can pick it up for sure. How does a speedrunner distinguish themselves from others? I just don't think that you should be distinguishing yourself from other runners, because it's, at the end of the day, speedrunning is about having fun. I don't really think it's about like numbers or marketing or anything like that. Does speedrunning take the fun out of the game you're playing, or does it make it more enjoyable? It definitely does enhance it in a way. Like a lot of people like to assume that your childhood nostalgic memories get removed whenever you start speedrunning, but a lot of those memories find a new meaning whenever you set new times. When you get a time that you really want, that'll sit with you for the next years and years and years. I would say it makes it more fun. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much for being a part of the video, Ricky. I'm very appreciative of your participation. Let us now move on to the conclusion of the video. So that concludes the second episode of the Fascinating World of series. I hope you all enjoyed analyzing these two speedrunners with me, and if you did, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could drop the video a like, as well as subscribe to the channel. I'd also appreciate it if you want to check out both Ricky and Tomato if you haven't already done so. Their links will be down in the description below. below. Lastly, if you could drop me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the video, as well as if you'd like to see a part 2 to this video, I'd be very grateful, since I always want to know what you all think about the content I put out. But besides that about wraps up the video. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.